Thanks, obviously, for tuning in. So we've got a few guests on tonight. First of all, returning guest, Kerry Steller. Obviously, Kerry Steller works with MMA UK and in the Girls' Corner. Thanks for coming on, Kerry.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure as always. And we have Scottish Pro Lightweight Aidan joining as well. Aidan has a fight coming up and on the 9th of September, and that's at the On Top Future Stars show. Thanks for coming on, Aidan.
Featherweight.
And last but no means least, UK MMA legend, Mr. Brad One Punch Pickett. Thanks for joining us, Brad.
Thanks for having me on.
Perfect. So obviously we've got a few things to chat about. First of all, we'll just come to you, Brad. Obviously, you've got a show coming up very soon. That's Rise of Champions 6, and that is on the 1st of September, and that's at the Brentwood Leisure Centre. So just talk us through how everything's going for the show. Everything all set? Are you ready to go now?
Well, always been a promoter. You get this week before a fight, a week before a show that you're always worried. Every time I get a message on my phone, I'm worried about someone pulling out or something like that. So we're still not there yet. We've still got, I would say most people should be fighting on the card, will have done the hard training by now. So hopefully I don't get any calls over this weekend that anything happens. But yeah, I've had a few pullouts as always, but at the moment it's still looking short. I have 15 fights on the card, so it's still quite a strong card.
Yeah, and as you were saying, you're obviously switching to promoter now. This is the 6th show you have put on. So how different is it now going from that first show you've done up until this point? Do you feel things are usually getting better as promoters and actually just putting the show together?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I have a lot of pride in my product, So like, I've been around for a long, long time. I've been to a lot of good shows. I've been to a lot of bad shows in my time. Yep. I've been to arguably the best show in the world, the UFC. So I know how things run, not just in front of camera, but also how things run behind the scenes as a fighter. So I really know how to look after them, where you go to some shows where they treat the fighters a bit like cattle, just in and out, and not really much thought from a fighter's perspective behind how things should be run. Where me being a fighter myself, been there, done that, been in the trenches, I know how fighters like to be treated backstage, how things should be run. So I look after them, and I put on a show, in my eyes, a bit like a movie director treats the actors as the stars of the show. I treat the fighters as the stars of the show because that's who they are. Where a lot of other shows I've been around, they just, like I say, misabuse the fighters, treat them like cattle. So for me, I look after my fighters. I'm very grateful for them putting their body on the line like I know I did when I was fighting. And so I put on a very professionally run event. It keeps growing, it keeps getting better, And we're now on UFC Fight Pass as well. That helps a lot, and I do all the matchmaking, so I put on a lot of good competitive fights, so it's a very good place to send your amateurs to grow and also your young professionals.
Yeah, and just something you said there with regards to obviously UFC Fight Pass. Just how big a step is that for you, just getting on that platform, just like you say, to continue to grow the show? That seems like a massive achievement considering you're on your 6th show now.
Yeah, it definitely helps. It helps, obviously, put more eyes on the show, helps me maybe secure a little bit more sponsorship and stuff like that. But for me, I'm not in the way that I'm trying to compete with Cage Warriors or Bama or anything like that. I'm not trying to compete with anyone. I'm just doing my thing, if that makes sense. So I'm not looking at anyone as a competition. I'm just doing my representation of the show, and making a good show for young. Predominantly, I have a amateur undercard and a pro main card. So I normally have about 4 to 5 pro fights on the card, and then underneath that, a load of amateur fights.
And for anyone obviously coming along to show and buying tickets, what can they expect to see going to Rise of the Champions?
like I say, every show I've had, I've always got a lot of compliments for the matchmaking. You get fantastic fights from the beginning to the end. You know, it's not like you go to some boxing events and some other events. I don't want to say names, but it's completely lopsided. Where you know, oh, that guy's going to win. That guy, you know, it's just so lopsided, bad matchmaking, just for the favorite ticket seller kind of thing. I'm not like that. You know, like I say, I'm a fighter, and I try and put on really competitive fights, and that's why I pride myself on my product, and that's what I have. So if you come to my show, you know it's going to be some high level talent, some really good fights, and you'll see the prospects. You know, coming from this country. I even have people from around Europe as well, but you see all the hot prospects. You know, on my show. And also, we have really good catering. We have Black's Burgers. I don't know if anyone's seen on my Instagram. They cater the events and they do amazing burgers. Yeah, so it's really good.
So all round them that buying a ticket can expect a great night of fights, and obviously fantastic hospitality as well. Just something you were saying there with regards to the talent coming through. When you look at the scene at the moment, especially like coming through amateur into guys in their early pro career like Aidan, how does that compare for you looking back maybe when you first started talent level in the UK at the moment?
Well, obviously, I'm a bit of an OG in MMA. So, like, when I first started, it wasn't even in a million years. It wasn't even like a career path for me at all. It was just a case of have a few fights, earn a bit of money here and there, and it's a bit of fun. Now, for a young, like inspiring athlete like Aidan, you know, it's actually a genuinely career path. You could choose this as like, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be a football player. Oh, when I grow up, I'm going to be an MMA fighter. It's actually a legitimate career path, and you can go on and earn. Not saying everyone will, but you can go on and earn life-changing money. But what I provide for my family is all done by fighting. My house, you know, and all that sort of stuff, and the roof over my head is fighting. Let's put this on the table for me, you know. So where, like I say, when I started, it wasn't there, but now shows like myself, I have help progress and build the next sort of generation, and then they move on to the UFC and stuff like that. It's I've been around long enough now, and it's my turn like to put back in and help other guys fulfill their potential, sort of thing.
Yeah, and just last couple of questions, Brad. Obviously, Mickey Pappas and yourself is that started Rise of the Champions, if I'm not mistaken, and your coach as well. How difficult is it the workload, coaching fighters and trying to run the promotion, matchmaking? Is that sort of a fine balancing act you need to find?
It does help me in some aspect, being a coach, having my own fight show because I can put some of my fighters on the card. But it's not one of those ones where I want to put. I don't kind of want it to be like, oh, a Team Titan fight show. You know, but obviously it does help me out a lot because when I put on my own fires, I could be on them and make sure they're training properly and be ready for fighting and that sort of stuff. Where so it does help me out in that way. If and also if anyone pulls out, I could maybe pull someone in from my gym to replace. Yeah, that does help. But yeah, but it's not something I want. I don't want it to be like a Titan kind of thing. Um, yeah, but I'm enjoying coaching as well a lot at the moment. You know, as I say, I've been around a long time, and you know, and passing on my knowledge. And we've got a lot of good guys in our gym. And I'll be honest, a lot of the guys in my gym, I can't put on my show. They're in the UFC or Bellator or something like that. So I wish I could put them on my show, but I can't.
Yeah, obviously a shining example of that is Nathaniel Wood, who made his UFC debut and be going from strength to strength. And last one, obviously you had been scheduled to fight on ACB. That didn't materialise. Is it in the plans to fight again, or was it just that opportunity come up? Where are you at with that at the moment, Brad?
Well, to be honest, isn't when I retired from the sport, it wasn't a case of most people when they retire from the sport is through injury. You know, like any athlete normally retires because they got bad injuries. I never had that. I never really had bad injuries. I've had injuries, don't get me wrong, but when I retired from the sport, it was more a case of I just kind of fell out of love with it, if you know what I mean. I had 5 fights. No, I had 3 fights in 5 months. I was in a constant training camp. I got a young son called Buddy, and I was away from him a lot. And it just, yeah, I just fell out of love with it. And for me, it was the right time to leave. I've left. I coach a lot now. And I say I'm really happy with what I've done with my career, and now I'm just kind of like coaching and passing it all on. And I'm a very active coach. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a guy who just like sits there, get a big fat belly and points to people doing stuff. I'm a very active guy, so I still spar with the guys at the gym who are doing really well, and I can still compete with them. So I'm not shit. I haven't lost anything. I ain't lost my ability overnight. But it was kind of like I'm a businessman now as well, and ACB came to me with a really good proposal, and I was like, not that I need money. It's not a case that I need the money, but they gave me money. I'm like, oh shit, I'll do that, you know. And I was looking forward to it. You know, it all fell through, but it doesn't matter. But I'm in no rush to do anything. If something makes sense for me, business wise, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm happily just teaching the young guns in my gym. You know.
Is there part of it as well? Obviously, I spoke to Corey, and I think he was quite excited about the potentially fighting in the same card. Then, as we said, it didn't materialise. When you're coaching there, do you sometimes just get that urge to, you would like say you've not lost anything, you want to get back in there and maybe try it out again?
I'm a competitor, so I always like competing. So I'd always compete throughout my life. I will in some way, in something. I'll always compete. I'm still do a grappling match. I still do that. I mean, I've got one coming up in October on coming up called Battle Arena, I think it's called. Yeah, it's a grappling match against a BJJ black belt, Jay Butler. So I'm looking forward to that. That will keep me training and such, you know. So yeah, I'm enjoying that sort of side of things. I'll still compete, and like I say, if something come up MMA wise that for me made sense, I'd do it. You know, I wouldn't mind fighting Ryzen or something like that. That'd be quite cool to fight in Japan. I've never fought in Japan before, so I'm not in a rush. But if something happens, something happens. If it don't, it don't. I'm not that fussed.
Perfect. That's brilliant. And just obviously, I've got Aidan on here as well. Say Aidan's got a fight coming up in the 9th. Aidan's early in his pro career. If there was any advice you could give to the likes of an Aidan, somebody at that early stages of their pro career, what would it be?
Well, it all depends. You know, like it all depends. There's so many different roads you could go down. Some people look too far ahead in the future, which is always good. But what I would always say to anyone aspiring athlete to set small, achievable goals, which would lead you to your end goal. Some people go, "I want to be UFC champion," but then how are you going to get to be that? First of all, you need to do this, do that. So I set small, achievable goals and concentrate what's in front of you, and don't look too beyond the task what's in front of you. You know, and yeah, just get yourself down a good MMA gym and surround yourself around people who want to succeed as much as you. You know, and that would help drive you as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Brad. And for tickets for the show on the 1st of September, where can people go to get tickets? Are there still tickets available?
Yeah, there's still be tickets available. There would be some on the door if you live in the area as well. And but also you go to www.rockevents.co.uk and you can purchase your tickets online there. And yeah, I say it'd be amazing for local support to come down. And anyone else wants to come down, watch some good fights, come down.
Perfect. Thank you. We won't keep you any longer, Brad. Thanks very much for your time this evening. And hope everything goes great on the 1st of September.
Much appreciated. Thanks, guys. Good luck, Aidan.
Thank you very much, Brad. Bye. Right, guys. So obviously we've got Aidan here with us as well. Thanks very much for joining us, Aidan. Very good. I was quite excited when I saw your fight get announced. Obviously, we've spoke at Headhunters in the past, and I know you were looking to get back in there. So it sort of came about quite quick. Obviously, we're quite close to we're quite close to the fight. It's 9th of September. You're fighting Paul McCulloch, a name I haven't heard about in a wee while. He's not fought in a little while. You've not fought since, I believe it was March in Forza, your last fight, yeah?
Yeah, man, March.
So just tell us a wee bit about when you found out you were going to be fighting Paul, or when you got the call from maybe James Lake or Tam to be on the show.
So I'd messaged James fighting on the show, and the only fight was lightweight. Now I normally fight at featherweight, and I fought my very first fight was at bantamweight as well. So this is the third weight class I've would have fought at as a professional. But it's just about staying active. I'm not fussed about who the opponent is. I'm not bothered. I train hard and I love fighting. So that's it.
Just right, and obviously, like you say, third weight class, so it's jumping up as moving about a wee bit. I mean, I'm assuming going forward, you'll probably rather fight in your natural weight class as you progress in your career.
Yeah, it'd be featherweight from there on. But I was meant to fight in July, and the fight card got cancelled with 2 weeks' notice.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean. So I haven't fought since March, and I was wanting to get like 4 fights this year, keep active, and seeing like Ross Houston having the success he is, and Paul McBay and people like that, and I wish it was me. So I just need to keep going so I can catch up with them.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of the trials and tribulations sometimes at this point in your career that through no fault of your own you can go 6, 7, 8 months a year without a fight. So, how was there a lot of frustration with just everything that had been happening? You not being able to get in there as much as you would like.
Well, I took a year off because I became a dad last year, and I just wanted time with my son, time with my family. And I knew I was going to get back to it. I was still training, but I just felt the time was right to come back. And there's nothing more frustrating. I mean, I've had pull-outs my whole career. I'm cursed with it. Like I'm competing on Saturday at this Scottish Grappling Invitational, and I was meant to be against Callum Murray because his opponent pulled out, so I stepped in. But Callum's got a fight coming up. He's got a no-compete clause, so he had to pull out of that. And then now I've got another opponent, and it's just been pull-outs all year.
Like I say, it's sort of, it can be a common theme. It's obviously unfortunate when it happens to you. I mean, if you're looking up, you mentioned the name there. Obviously, Scott Malone. He's been cursed a bit recently with it.
Yeah.
And just to touch on some of the names you mentioned there, Ross and Paul McBain, obviously guys that are training up and around your area. Is it a motivating factor as well, just seeing how far those guys are going and where they're at? Sort of, does that motivate you just to continually push on?
Definitely. I want to be where they are. I just need to keep on it, and hopefully I'll be there soon.
And I think the other thing as well is there is more shows. Like, for example, we had obviously Brad on there, Rise of the Champions show, that's getting out on UFC Fight Pass. So the shows are coming. It's just a case of getting the fights together, I guess. So with regards to fighting at lightweight, is there going to be any need to cut any weight at all going into that fight, or are you going to be there basically walking in kind of on that weight anyway?
I was 69 kilos this morning, so I'm actually under.
Right.
But
So
it's not an issue, man. I train with absolute monsters all the time. They're much heavier than me, and I do fine. So weight's never an issue.
So it was purely as about just getting in there. That's how much you wanted it. You were happy to just go and fight at that weight, even though, like you say, you're under it at the moment.
Yeah, I just want to fight, man. Just want to fight. Paul's a tough dude, It's going to be a good fight.
And how do you see the fight actually going against Paul?
He's He's a tricky southpaw. So I'd never really visualised the fight. I always just go in and see what happens. But we'll see what happens, man. I don't know how it's gonna go.
So then I would safely say for that then, does not really take a game plan in with you? Is it a case of just feeling out pros in there and the fight goes the way it goes?
I used to go in with a game plan and that would never ever happen. And then I'd be like, fuck, what do I do now? It was never like that. And then my last few fights have just gone in there with a clear head and it's worked out pretty well. I'm pretty confident wherever the fight goes. But, I don't really. Certain opponents you need a game plan, but people like some of the guys I've fought, you can't really dictate where the fight's going to take place. So you just go with it, man.
And I just want to go back and touched on something you said earlier. Obviously, you became a father. How old is your son now?
He's 13. No, he's not 13. Oh, you can't ask me this. He's 15 months. I'll say 15 months.
15 months. Don't worry about that, mate. Somebody asked me how old my son was today, and I genuinely couldn't answer the question. I had to go to his date of birth and count backwards. It was. I must have looked like an idiot, but how is it? I don't know. I'm assuming your son's up and about and everything.
Yeah, he was born 3 months early. So
right.
12 weeks premature, which was a bit scary. So it was tough going, but he's up and everything's fine there.
And how is it sort of balancing that? Obviously, being a father as well as training and everything else that comes with it. Has that been a difficult thing to get used to?
What a lot of people don't know is I've actually got a full-time job. I work in a distillery, and I work Monday to Friday, and I've got a fit in training every night as well as the weekends, and then I do a lot of coaching as well. It's quite hard to fit it in sometimes, but the weekends is mainly my family time.
Yeah.
And then when I've not got a fight coming up, I can spend all the time with my family as well. But I've got a very understanding girlfriend, very understanding family. Hopefully it'll be worth it soon.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said earlier, guys, Aidan Stephen's fighting on the 9th of September. That's at the On Top Future Stars show.
I think it's 8th.
Paul McCulloch. Sorry. Against Paul McCulloch. And as you've seen there with a face with glasses pop up, it's Mr. Peter Knox has joined us. So,
what's up, bitches? I seen you lost Brad, so I thought we'd replace one superstar with another superstar.
Well, is he behind the couch?
I don't know. But hey, I've got a question for Aidan.
What's up, man?
What's up, my man? Obviously, James mentioned Forza earlier on. Have you been paid yet?
From Forza?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've been paid.
That's good.
That's good to hear. So, just before we go on, if you don't mind staying with us, Aidan, we've got a few things we just wanted to quickly talk about. So, something that's been doing the rounds is obviously there was a it was a shocking video. It was a fight card in Brazil. Gentleman get caught in a dash choke. I actually thought it was an anaconda at first. And the referee decided everything was fine. I think the choke got held for 90 seconds when the guy was out. You could actually see his body convulsing. It was horrible to watch. I'll come to you, Aidan. Obviously, you're a fighter. Have you seen the video?
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on that.
Well, Mark Ewan from Headhunters.
Yeah.
Great fighter. I was refereeing one of his fights, and he caught someone it was either a dash choke or an anaconda. And the way their body was positioned, they were turtled up. So it's not even like I could tell if the guy was unconscious or not. And refereeing, I had to act quick. And it got to the point where, he hadn't been in it long. He'd only been in it for maybe 10, 12 seconds, and I had to make a on-the-spot decision, and I stopped the fight, and luckily he was unconscious. He had obviously just gone unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, as a referee, I was prepared to take the fall for costing that guy the fight over his safety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was saying respond, but a lot of the time people will stay in like that kind of turtle guard to make your opponent think that you're in trouble and let them gas their arms out a little bit, or they might just be staying there to stay safe. But you can't take the chance with jokes like that.
Yeah, I think that's what you said there makes 100% sense. So, like you were saying there, you're willing to rather maybe stop the fight and he wasn't out, but he's safe, and you've made a bad decision rather than potentially the worst case scenario. Obviously, the fighter could get seriously injured, brain damage, anything for loss of oxygen. Kerry, you've just watched the video. We spoke about it before we come on the show. So you're pretty fresh and just seeing it. Give me your reaction initially to it and what your thoughts are on it.
I was waiting for it to end, and it just seemed to have gone on forever, which is just so gross for a referee to allow, because at the end of the day, your job as a referee is to, have this fighter's safety at your heart. It's not to give what the fans want or what, people watching are going to want to see, the guy fight out. No, your job is to keep the fighter safe. And that was just, I don't know how the guy could even be a referee just sitting there watching that. You know what I mean? There's just, it's not right. And I mean, again, like, your one job is to go in there and keep the fighter safe. And that guy failed to do his job on so many different levels, in my opinion.
Yeah. And Peter, I'll just get your thoughts on it.
Well, I know we published the article. I've not seen the video, but just from a fighter point of view, would the fighter not know that the guy's out as well? Did you not let go?
No, not from the position they're in, because he's actually side on, so his dead weight's on him already. You wouldn't be able to tell from there. He does actually say to the referee, "I think he's unconscious," and the referee goes, "No, keep going." So the fighter's done his job to, tell the referee to check.
Yeah, I think the fighter as well, when reading an article as well, the fighter did say he released a bit of the pressure on the choke as well, because he thought he was out, but Aidan was saying there it's not the fighter's job, really, to be honest. Although I believe the fighter used some common sense and maybe relieving a bit of the pressure on the choke, because it could have went very badly.
But there is some moves and some submissions, some chokes that the fighter knows instantly when the guy's out. So if the referee's a bit dodgy, then...
but the thing is, though, what I would say with that is the fighter's job's to fight. The referee's there to protect both guys from themselves sometimes, but it's the referee's job. It's his main job in there is to make sure the fighters are protected. Obviously, Aidan, you've refed in there, so you probably know that more than most.
Yeah, man.
Having fought and refed. Do you think, just quickly, we're still on this subject, that you've because you're a fighter and you've went in and refed, does it make you maybe a bit more cautious as a referee at all?
I wouldn't say it makes me more cautious, because I know, being a fighter, I'd like the referee to give me every chance in the book possible, where some referees will stop the fight. But there was one time I was refereeing and a guy had landed an illegal knee to the head, but from where I was, I didn't have the right angle. It looked like it hit the chest, so I let the fight go on. But then 2 seconds later, the guy's face was covered in blood, and I was like, "Fuck!" It was too late. I'd already stopped the fight. So that one's shocking. That's terrible refereeing. But there is referees out there that they are trying, and they'll make bad calls all the time. But although you've made a bad call, your intention was to help the fighter. It's not.
Yeah. Just for maybe people out there like myself, obviously I've never refereed. I'm sure neither Peter or Kerry has. How difficult is it in there being a referee? Just how difficult a job is that?
It's really not that hard. I thought it was going to be awful, but No, it's really good. And the fight, the night I refereed, there was a lot of stoppages as well. And watching the videos back, I thought I did a great job. There's just that one fight I made a mess of, but the guy was down on points anyway. He was going to lose. But,
so Mario Yamasaki, no excuse.
the Scottish
to be honest, it'd be interesting to know if that referee's got any kind of fighting background at all. Because most good referees, Matt Goddard, Herb Dean, they've all got fighting experience, so they know what it's like to be in a cage. Might not have fought at the highest level, but they do have a good idea of what happens in a cage. So it'd be interesting to know if that guy's got any experience whatsoever.
They're normally down on their hands and knees, like looking at the fighter's eyes and getting in close. This referee's standing miles back, like his arms folded, just staring at them. Yeah. I don't think he's ever fought, and I don't think he had any knowledge of what he was doing at all.
Yeah.
It looks like a guy outside a nightclub watching two other guys fight. That's what it looks like. He's just standing there like, oh, this is quite cool. I wonder who's going to win. It's just that you can tell, like you're saying there, you can tell just with the way he's standing. When you see that, the high level of refereeing versus just the way this guy is and his demeanour and the way he's walking about, it looks like they've just pulled him off out of the crowd, to be honest.
So maybe the promotion should take some of the responsibility as well, though, for appointing him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they're not doing their research on their referees and that, I mean, it's when you're like about to fighting, or just when you're at a show ready to fight. Do you ever pay any attention to who your referee is, or is that something you look at all to try and find out?
No, normally like when Mark Goddard's refereeing one of my fights, I get quite starstruck. No, I've not really.
Yeah, Mark used to do the on top shows until he's that busy now. He's everywhere, so he can't do on top anymore. But he used to do all the on top events. Yeah.
Aidan, this is probably the best time to tell you that Peter Knox is actually reffing your fight at On Top.
That's awesome.
So just make it nice and quick so I can get back to the bar.
Does he take rides?
I'm nice and quick. Look, Peter with his missus.
Oh.
I kid, of course. So we'll.
I bet you wrote that down earlier on. Don't forget that.
But no, I didn't. She must have been texting me about it. So anyway, right. So obviously, I want to just get a few thoughts on a few fights in the UFC before we wrap up, and also come to Kerry Stella. So you've got a few things to talk to us about. Obviously, Ring of Combat. The floor is yours, Kerry.
Ring of Combat, September 21st in Atlantic City. It's going to be a really great fight. I've interviewed a couple fighters from that. Scott Heckman. I interviewed Louis Galdino. I almost pronounced his name wrong. I actually have one of my friends making her debut on there, Gabby Golfin. So it should be a really good night. I think Frankie Perez is fighting on that card. Lou Neglia puts together a really nice fight card. I've been to quite a few of his, so I'm pretty excited. And, a lot of fighters from UFC have been pulled from Ring of Combat. There's quite a few of them that have fought for there. I mean, George Sullivan, who's fighting this weekend, I think he was Ring of Combat and CFFC. There's just a laundry list. Chris Weidman fought for Ring of Combat, Eddie Gordon, pretty much everybody from Law and Sarah Longo. Yeah. So it should be a really good card, to say the least. And then Aggressive Combat Championship 19 is the night after. So I'm going to be doing quite a bit of traveling between two states for that weekend. But I can't wait. It's going to be a nice fight weekend.
Yeah, Ring of Combat. I mean, it's a show that's been around for ages. It's produced a lot of talent. Would it be comparable with, for example, in the UK and Europe? Sorry, we've got out with the big shows, Bellator and the UFC. We've got Cage Warriors, and Cage Warriors has always been a show that's produced really good talent for the UFC. Is that sort of where Ring of Combat is in America?
I would say, yeah.
Producers for the UFC or Bellator?
I would say it's more similar to Cage Wars. Ring of Combat would be more similar to that. They do have amateurs fighting and pros, so you get a little bit of both, which I like. You can kind of, if you have an amateur in that promotion, they fought from a bunch of times as an amateur. They know they could just go grab them and say, you're ready to go pro yet, and so I think that's really nice. And then Bellator Long Island coming up in October should be a really great time. They also have Connecticut the night before. If I get press passes to both, that's going to be a hell of a weekend too.
Yeah, that'll be
a crazy weekend.
Kerry, is there anywhere for us to watch like Ring of Combat? Is it on Fight Pass or is it on
I'm
Facebook?
gonna find out if they're doing a live stream, and if not, I'll definitely have it. I'll air it all on MMA UK. Lou will let me. He loves us.
Brilliant.
So guys, also this weekend we've got UFC Lincoln. Probably flew under a wee bit under the radar, this card, but it's got some really fun fights on it. Obviously, we'll get some thoughts on the main event. Justin Gaethje's getting back in there. Justin Gaethje is fighting Vic. So, Peter, I'll come to you first. What do you think of the card and that as a main event?
Well, that is a main event. That's actually a good fight. I think everybody wants to see that. You get Gaethje, the human punch bag, the Diego Sanchez now at UFC, aren't you? Don't get me wrong, he's a tough motherfucker. If you can't knock him out, you're fucked. You know what I mean? He's got vicious low kicks and all that. But Rich, I don't know. It's gonna be it's a 50-50 fight. But I don't think Gaethje. How long can you fight for that? It's a very short career. The way he fights, he's apparently got good wrestling, but he doesn't use it. So I don't know. It's a cracking main event. Obviously, we've got Jojo as well. The prelims as well, which is going to be a cracking fight. I'm expecting a new Jojo this weekend as well. Obviously, my heart's going to go with her, and I'll get her put a bet on her. But as I say, I think it's one of these cards that you got a couple of cracking fights. It's probably better than the big cards you get when you get all these super fights and people pull out the last minute. I think we've got some cracking fights on this card. I'm really looking forward to it. It's probably one we'll stay up for. I'll probably stay up for Jojo and see how it goes. As I say, it's a nightmare for us in the UK. You stay up till 6 in the morning with your kids getting up about 5 minutes later and then you get no sleep. So I'll probably watch a Jojo card. Hopefully she'll put it out. I'm expecting big things for Jojo. She's been over there for a while now. She's now training at that UFC centre and stuff. She's saying this is going to be a new version. I hope she needs to fight a bit smarter. If you remember in Glasgow, she got outsmarted in her fight. She wanted to fight, the other person didn't, ran a bit. But she needs to fight a bit smarter or she's not going to get that title shot we all thought she would get a while ago. So hopefully she'll fight smart. We'll see a new Jojo. Hopefully she doesn't lose that brutality and all that because she's an absolute killer. But hopefully we need her to fight smarter. If she doesn't fight smarter, she's not going to get further than what she is right now. But as you say, cracking main event, cracking prelims. So I think a big card overall.
Yeah, and just another few. Aidan, I'll come to you with the Gaethje and the Vic fight. Give me your thoughts on that fight and how do you think that one will go?
Vic will get the knockout in the 3rd or 4th round. Gaethje he's got no gas. He tires very quickly.
Do you think Vic's going to use his range in this and just sort of pick Gaethje apart from the outside? He's more technical and. Obviously, Gaethje's got that weird low kick, but he does it in really close. Do you think he'll be able to get in close to Vic to do that at all?
Maybe in the 1st and 2nd round, but he'll get tired and Vic will up the pace.
And just 2 other fights, just anybody jump in with these, just 2 ones I picked. Andre Fili against Michael Johnson. And
I can't wait for that.
It's got to be a good. I think that'll be a good one. And Jake Ellenberger, I saw his name in the card. To be honest with you, he's fighting Brian Barberina. Thoughts on the. I see you shaking your head a wee bit there, Aidan. What do you think about Ellenberger still fighting?
Ellenberger should. He's not UFC caliber. He's a great fighter, but he's not UFC caliber. He'll get destroyed by. How do you say it?
Barberina, yeah.
It's a very bad fight for him.
Yeah, and. You obviously, Kerry, when I said Andre Fili, Michael Johnson, I'm assuming you like the sound of that fight.
Yeah, I've been a huge Michael Johnson fan for a very, 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 very long time. I've been watching him the guy's been fighting for a very long time, and he's fought some of the best. I think if anything, experience is going to play. But you know what? Look at Andre Fili. He's got an 18-5 record, and so does Michael Johnson's got 18 fights. So this maybe not to say experience, but I'm feeling Michael Johnson's going to. I'm feeling like he's going to win. I love Andre Fili too, but I don't know. Michael Johnson, when he's on, he's a very special kind of fighter.
Was it no Michael Johnson and shoot Khabib, didn't he, early on, and Khabib decided to take him down, didn't it? Yeah. Could have knocked him out.
Yeah.
it's a card that's definitely.
He almost knocked him out, actually, as a matter of fact.
People
talk about that all the time, that Michael Johnson nearly knocked him out.
I remember that. And then Khabib goes, fuck this, I'm taking him down.
Yeah, which is, I mean, hey, the guy's smart. He's winning fights because he's not a stupid fighter. When he sees that he could get knocked out, he's like, all right, well, let me take you down and let's play there, because he knows he could beat people, you know, between smothering them. And he's a fantastic fighter. But one I'm really excited, two or three fights also on this card I'm excited about. Courtney Casey and Angela Hill. Courtney Casey's going to have a hell of a night, I think. I'm a fan of Angela Hill, but I think Courtney Casey's going to have a hell of a fight. She is just a really well-rounded fighter.
Yeah. Courtney Casey fought in Glasgow, wasn't it, against Calderwood? That was a hell of a fucking fight. And Casey came across as a hard bitch, man. That was a tough fight for Calderwood.
Angela
Courtney Casey's a scary fighter. She is.
Just a second. So we've got a counterpoint to that. I saw Aidan shaking his head immediately. So you favouring Angela Hill here, Aidan?
Yep.
Just to even things up, I'll go with Angela Hill as well.
No, Angela Hill's a hell of a fighter. We actually we're going to be interviewing her very shortly, but she's I would like to see Hill v Calderwood as well. That'd be a great fight as well. That's been a fight in the making. It's never happened. But I think Hill's a great fighter, and it could go either way. That's what I'm saying. It's one of those cards. I think there's going to be some exciting fights and some exciting knockouts this weekend. A few shocks in the card, I think, as well.
And I have to agree with Aidan. I think Jake Ellenberger is going to be one of those really big knockouts. He has no business fighting in the UFC anymore. But far be it for me to say that.
No, so definitely it's a card worth checking out. I think obviously in the UK, if you've got nothing on the next day, stay up and watch it. Unfortunately, I'll watch it the next day because I will be up at 6 a.m. with a mental. Christ, I forgot his age now.
I'm going to message you at 5:59 with all the results anyway, so don't read your Facebook messages.
I've just
I'm going to fuck you up.
I've done even there. I forgot my wee boy's age, but he's somewhere between 1 and 2. So, so yeah,
1.5.
Yeah,
he'll be up watching it more than you.
Aye, probably.
You'll be too fucked with 1-2 gins and that's you gone.
No gins this weekend, mate. I'm staying off it for a couple of days.
But surely, James, right? This is where I jumped on because I knew you'd missed the biggest story of the week. Is that all your topics tonight? Because there was one big story this week.
There was no topics tonight, my friend.
Right, there was one massive story and you've not brought it up, and that was Bryce Mitchell losing half a bollock.
Well, he actually ripped his nutsack, if you want to get technical.
Yeah.
So, do you know what we'll do with this one? Because it is a nutsack that get ripped, we're going to come to Kerry Taylor. Let's get a female point of view in that.
She does that for a living.
But rips nutsacks.
You don't see their Facebook.
What do you want my opinion on?
Bryce Mitchell.
On what?
He ripped his nutsack in half doing some woodwork.
Bryce Mitchell.
Oh, the guy with the power tool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's got to be like so. First off, if you're a professional at anything, when you're using your hands, you got to get in there. You know what I mean? There's certain things that maybe you should just kind of not do. Playing with power tools that could hurt you. Maybe this is something you guys shouldn't be doing. I don't know. It's just my opinion. It's got to hurt too. Ow.
Yeah, when I read this story, the first thing I thought is, you know, the things in the office, the little ball things that go, tune.
Yeah.
I imagined that when he's not trying to get ripped, they fell out and just done that. Yeah, I mean that's a painful one. What do you think, Aidan? That's you'll not be using any power tools anytime soon, I'm assuming.
Oh.
What's the odds of it hitting his nutsack? And then he goes, fuck it, I'll put it in reverse to get it out. And it ripped it.
Well, turns out, he's to be honest, let's be honest. I don't mean any disrespect at all, but from what we've seen on him in Tough, he didn't seem like the brightest character. So, yeah.
Give him his due. He's still in high spirits. He's having a joke and a laugh about it, and he's now got a sponsor out of it as well. So,
what sponsor has he got?
It was something to do with underpants because he posted a picture of his bloody underpants and all that, and someone from MMA fighting go, oh, well, if I'd done underpants, I'd be sponsoring you. Because people told him to auction them off. He goes, no, this is my best pair of underpants. I'm going to wash these motherfuckers and keep them. So,
but I suppose one thing he's got out of this is good promotion. The question is then, are we going to see other fighters ripping their nutsacks to get sponsors?
I know one thing. If he ever fights at UFC Glasgow, you know where we're going to chant, Brycey, he's only got one ball. I mean, I bet.
Well, thanks. I totally forgot about that one. So I think, guys, what we'll do is we'll sort of wrap up here. First of all, I'd like to thank Kerry for coming on. Thanks very much, as always, Kerry.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
I'd like to, well, I don't know where to thank you, Peter, or no, because you weren't really invited. But...
No, just, I came back early, so I thought, fuck it. Kerry said, it's Kerry's fault. She sent me the link.
Aye, Kerry.
She sent me the wrong link,
Sorry.
and I clicked it. I was meant to be a link to watch it, and all of a sudden, I'm in it.
Oh,
you did lose Brad Pickett, so one superstar to another. So.
And obviously, lastly, Aidan Stephen. Thanks very much for joining us, Aidan.
Good luck, Aidan, in your fight, mate. We'll be there to watch you live.
Obviously, where can people get? If you still get a ticket, have you still got tickets that you can sell, or?
Yeah, I've got tickets at the gym, and there's going to be tickets at the door as well.
Right, perfect. And so obviously, guys, Aidan's fighting on the 8th of September against Paul McCulloch, and that's at the On Top Future Stars show. Thanks everyone for coming on. So this is another edition of MMA UK Late Show. Thanks again for joining us.
See you later, guys.
Bye, guys. Good luck, Aidan.
Thank you. You too. See you later.
Bye,